Hello everyone. Today let us learn about respiration in plants. So we have learned about some processes in plant body. So one of the most important processes in plant body is respiration. So now let us learn what is respiration, how it takes place, and what are its why how what are the conditions for it to take place and all those things. So let's go now. So now every plant body or every animal body has to perform some metabolic processes. Okay, so this metabolism processes in plant body, not only plant body but also in animal body, there are two types. Okay, so here now we are, since learning about respiration and plants, since we are learning about in the plant body, we will be learning about everything in the sense of plant body. So there are totally two types of metabolism processes: anabolic process and catabolic process. Anabolic process is a type of process which is constructive or biosynthetic. That means it can combine two things and it forms something. Okay, something it constructs by just combining or synthesizing two things or two or more things, whereas catabolic process is a destructive process, which is a breaking down process. So in this, certain substances are broken down to give something. Okay, so this is a destructive process in which something is destructed to get out something else. So since anabolic process is constructing something, it requires energy to construct something, and that energy is since energy is needed, it consumes energy, whereas catabolic process gives out energy. Something is broken, whatever energy was required and was used to make thing, that substance is now broken down, so that energy which was needed is now given out. Example of an anabolic process is photosynthesis. Now in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and all other things are used to make food, that is called as the glucose. Whereas in catabolic process, that is example is respiration, the glucose is broken down to give energy and many other things. So now let's move to what is the respiration. Respiration is a catabolic process. How is respiration a catabolic process? We will be learning that later. First, let us learn about what is respiration. Respiration is a catabolic process which releases energy from simple sugars like glucose for carrying out various life processes. We all know that for each and everything, every living organism, we have some body activities. Okay, just like movement or just breathing or anything, we require energy. So from where do they get this energy? This energy is getting from not only us but also plants. So from where do they get this energy? This energy is getting from respiration. Okay, so the respiration, what happens is that the glucose which is there is broken down. Okay, so when it breaks down, it releases energy and some other substances. So just with this help of equation, we can understand C6H12O6 is nothing but glucose. When glucose reacts with the oxygen which is out, it breaks down into the carbon dioxide and water and energy. This energy is nothing but 38 molecules of adenosine triphosphate. Now we can see here the glucose which is there, C6H12O6, is breaking down into carbon dioxide, water and energy. Now since it is breaking down, it is a destructive process, it is a catabolic process. Okay, it is releasing energy in the form of 38 molecules of adenosine triphosphate, and a simple sugar is nothing but C6H12O6. So I hope now you must have understood what is respiration. So let's go ahead. Now respiration takes place in three phases, three parts. The first step is when the glucose, okay, it is broken down to give out carbon dioxide and water. Now this is done in a series of chemical steps. First step is glycolysis. In glycolysis, what happens is that the glucose which is there, it is which the glucose is produced by the plant body by the process of photosynthesis. The glucose which is stored in the plant body, what happens is that breaks into pyruvate, that converts into pyruvate. This takes place in cytoplasm of the cell itself. Now the pyruvate which is created by the process of glycolysis in the cytoplasm, it goes into mitochondria, and there the Krebs cycle takes place. In the Krebs cycle, what happens is that the pyruvate which is there, it diffuses into carbon dioxide, water, and adenosine triphosphate. Okay, so this happens in a series of steps. First, what happens is that uh, the breakdown of glucose takes place into carbon dioxide and water and energy. How does that take place? First is glycolysis, which takes place in cytoplasm of the cell, where the glucose is converted to pyruvate. Then is the Krebs cycle, which takes place in the mitochondria of the cell, where the pyruvate is converted in the cytoplasm. May say it goes to the mitochondria, and there it converts the pyruvate to this. So now I hope you must have understood this. Let's go ahead. So here in this diagrams you can see about glycolysis and Krebs cycle. We can see that this glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of this cell, where this glucose is converted to the pyruvate. Now when pyruvate which is there goes in mitochondria, this Krebs cycle takes place. This is also called as the citric acid cycle. Now we will not go in much detail of these processes, because we have to learn this in the further classes. Okay, so we will not go in much detail of all this what is shown in the picture. This is just for reference that Krebs cycle takes place in this way. We just have to learn the basic, just brush up that okay, this is Krebs cycle in which pyruvate is converted to the carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and it gives out carbon dioxide, water, and it gives out energy. So we just have to learn it only this much. The next is that respiration takes place. The next step is that the each breakdown is done by a particular enzyme. Okay, each breakdown is done by a particular enzyme. First, maybe certain kind of enzyme takes place, takes this one process, some takes that process. So every breakdown is done by each enzyme. So this is the important word over here. The energy liberated during breakdown of glucose molecule in the form of is in the form of heat, but most of it is in the form of chemical energy, that is ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Now adenosine triphosphate is used and as a converter, it is converted to ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate. And when more energy is available from further breakdown of glucose, the ADP, that is adenosine diphosphate, is again converted to ADP, that is adenosine triphosphate. 1 mole of glucose on complete oxidation gives about 38 molecules of adenosine triphosphate. So now these were how respiration takes place in 3 parts. Let's go ahead further and learn about another definition of respiration. So respiration is a breakdown. 1 minute, I'll take some. Yeah, respiration is a breakdown of organic substance in living cells to release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay, so it is a breakdown of organic substance. What is the organic substance over here? This organic substance is nothing but the glucose. Okay, it is nothing but glucose. Now in photosynthesis, what happens is that due to the sunlight, the oxygen, the water, and all which is used, it goes in and it forms glucose inside. Okay, the organic matter is now glucose. Okay, now this glucose, with help of oxygen, what it does is that it gives out carbon dioxide and energy. Okay, You can again see it in here in a better way. Here you have the formulas also. So glucose is already present in the plants because of photosynthesis. The oxygen reacts with the glucose and it breaks down into carbon dioxide and water, and then it gives out heat energy but also adenosine triphosphate. So now let's go to the further part of the chapter. Now, many people think that respiration and combustion or burning is similar thing. There are only very few similarities between them. Most of them are differences, due to which these processes are completely different. There are some similarities that are that both processes give out energy. They liberate energy. The end products are carbon dioxide and water. Only this much. What is the difference between them? Let us see. Respiration occurs in a series of chemical steps. We saw first it is broken down, okay, then glycolysis, Krebs cycle, each enzyme takes place, and then that adenosine triphosphate converted to adenosine diphosphate, and again that adenosine diphosphate converted to adenosine triphosphate. So in this chemical step that happens in a series of steps, but combustion, it takes place in one single step. Okay, in single steps that take place. You just burn something, it burns out, gives energy, done. You don't need to do any steps or phases in that. The second is that respiration is carried out by enzymes. Each process is carried out by enzymes, whereas combustion is carried out by heat. It is due to fire. Fire is something but heat. Respiration is a biochemical process, whereas combustion is a physiochemical process. Now, how is this? Let us see. Respiration is a biochemical process. That means that the biological things are chemically broken down. But combustion can take place by either chemical heat, or it can take place due to physical fire. Okay, so it can happen in two phases, but this is biochemical process. Now, energy liberated is either is in the form of heat and adenosine triphosphate in respiration, but in combustion it is liberated as heat and light. When something is burned, we can see a lot of light, and we also we can just feel heat. Now, no light is produced in respiration, whereas light is produced in combustion. Now, respiration is a cellular process. Every single cell respirates, it respires. But combustion, ma'am, it is non-cellular process because it takes place in different body parts. Now, respiration occurs at body temperature only. If it's too cold, the body will die, and if it's also too hot, the body will die. It can occur at body temperature only, or the normal temperature, but combustion occurs only at high temperature. You cannot put ice on something and you can burn it. It is not possible. You have to put it at a high temperature where heat is provided to it, and then only combustion will take place. Now, how does plant actually respirates? Respiration के लिए we have seen oxygen is needed. How does that oxygen go in plant? So, in the leaves there are stomata, okay, which opens and close. When it opens, oxygen goes in, and when it closes, oxygen cannot go in. But already oxygen has gone in, so oxygen which has gone in is enough for respiration. Now, the lenticels in stem. Stem has some pores on it, okay. These you can see the pores which are there on this. These are called as the lenticels. From these, oxygen goes in, okay, and then the stem respires with help of oxygen. In the roots, the general surface area of roots, we have in transport and plants, we have already done root hairs, porous, semi-porous, and all that. So, the general surface area of root which is there, from there in the roots, water goes in. Now, here we have some give reasons. Why is soil plowed before sowing seeds? Sowing seeds, after seed is sowed, germination should take place so that it grows. But why is it plowed before? Because of that, what happens is that tiny air spaces are becoming in the soil. From those air spaces, the root which is there, it takes in oxygen. And when oxygen reacts with the glucose inside the plant body, they perform respiration. Okay. Now, the plants do not survive in a well compact soil. Why is that? Same reason. Same reason. If there are no air spaces, the roots cannot take in oxygen. Okay, so it cannot respire, due to which it dies. Now, there is a main important thing what happens in respiration. Now, during photosynthesis, we all know that oxygen is produced. Okay. Now, what happens is the oxygen which is produced because of this photosynthesis, you can see this oxygen is released. Okay. Now, this some of this oxygen is used in respiration of the plant. Okay, then that respiration of plant occurs with the reaction of glucose in it. Glucose also, we know that plants produce this food. That food, say the oxygen which is released out, it goes in the plant itself again and reacts with the glucose and then gives out carbon dioxide. Okay, it gives out carbon dioxide. Okay, the carbon dioxide which is given out, it again goes to the plant itself to perform photosynthesis and make food. In this way, photosynthesis and respiration are linked to each other. Now, it is not advised to sleep under a tree in night. What happens is that during night, the leaves which are there, they take in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is not good for health. So when if we are getting carbon dioxide, it's not good for health, due to which it is done. But in a hot midday, it is good because oxygen is given out by plants. Okay, so I hope now you must have understand how to write these such answers. Let's go ahead. Now, there are two types of respiration. Aerobic respiration, that is also called as oxybiotic respiration, whereas the other is anaerobic respiration, also called as anoxybiotic respiration. Now, aerobic respiration is the respiration in which oxygen is present. Oxygen takes part in that kind of respiration. Okay, and the glucose is completely oxidized. Okay, you can see the reaction is that the glucose reacts with the oxygen to give out carbon dioxide, hydrogen, water, and adenosine triphosphate. But in anaerobic respiration, the oxygen is not present, it is absent. Therefore, it is an incomplete breakdown of glucose. And since oxygen is not there, it is not breaking down with oxygen, it produces ethyl alcohol. Okay, or we can call it ethanol. Okay, then it also gives carbon dioxide, but a very less amount of energy, that is only 2 adenosine triphosphate molecules. Okay, anaerobic respiration in a plant cannot continue for a normal body for more than few days, because oxygen has to go in a body. And in anaerobic respiration, the energy given out is very less, and that is not sufficient for the body to take place its activities. So only there are some certain fungi and bacteria which respire anaerobically. Okay, they are only some few organisms which are able to perform this anaerobic respiration. What is difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration? The basic difference is based on the oxygen, presence and absence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration has oxygen, whereas anaerobic does not have it. In aerobic respiration, the glucose is completely oxidized, completely broken down, but it is incomplete breaking down of glucose in anaerobic respiration. The end products are carbon dioxide and water in aerobic respiration, whereas it is ethanol and carbon dioxide in anaerobic respiration. The energy liberated is in large quantity, 38 molecules of ADP, adenosine triphosphate, from 1 mole of glucose. But in anaerobic respiration, it's only 2 molecules of adenosine triphosphate using 1 mole of glucose. That's quite a less amount of energy. Now, aerobic respiration in a normal body, it is throughout life. But in anaerobic respiration, it is temporary for short period for a normal body, and for some special bodies it is completely. Now there are two types of anaerobic respiration in the plants and animals itself. Okay, the plants produce the products of glucose are ethanol and carbon dioxide, the end products in plants. But in animals, it is glucose. The glucose is broken down into lactic acid. The plants released heat energy is more, but in animals it is less. In plants, carbon dioxide release is foaming, but in animals, no carbon dioxide is released. Okay, so hence it does not just form any foaming. So you can see these equations. Please ignore these arrows. They have just come up like that. So please just ignore the mistakes. Now, when respiration is contrasted with photosynthesis, the compensation point is equal to the rate of photosynthesis is equal to the rate of respiration. Okay, we can see both the equations over here, which you can understand this neatly. What is difference between respiration and photosynthesis? Respiration में all the living cells will perform respiration. They will respire, all the living cells. But in photosynthesis, if chlorophyll pigment is present, then only for respiration, photosynthesis can take place. Now in respiration, the glucose and oxygen is used to break down, okay, into carbon dioxide and all that thing. But in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide and water is used. Okay, we have seen how it is interlinked, how the cycle takes place. Now in respiration converts the chemical energy into heat and other energy used for various body activities. We have learned this. But in photosynthesis, it converts light energy. The sunlight is converted into chemical energy, that is glucose, and it's stored as starch. Now, in respiration, carbon dioxide is released as the end product. But in photosynthesis, oxygen is released as an end product. In respiration, the result is weight loss. But in photosynthesis, it is gain in weight. The breakdown of glucose is a catabolic process in respiration, whereas photosynthesis is anabolic process. We have learned this in the first slide itself, so I don't think it's needed to explain it now again. Let's go ahead. So this blank slide is nothing but to tell you thank you. We have completed this chapter half. So as I told you, just because of some technical issues it happened that the slide went away. So this slide is to tell you nothing but thank you. We have completed most of the part of the chapter. That is the theory part of the chapter. The experimental part of this chapter will be taught to you in the next module, in which all the experiments will be explained to you, how they take place, what is the aim of them, and that all I will be explaining you in the next module. Thank you.